Hi, I'm Ken Lashley, the artist of Black Panther, and you're watching Geeking Out. This book is amazing.
Hey gang, this is Leila here from the Comic Connection in Hamilton, Ontario with this week's comic book reviews. First up, we would like to thank friend of the show, Ken Lashley, for that awesome intro. Thanks again, Ken. And we just can't say enough about how great you are. So, this week we've got lots of comic book reviews for you guys since, some of you complained that we only did like 2 last week. So this week there's a lot, so you better be sitting down because here we go. First up, we've got Black Panther #1, written by Reginald Hudlin and art by Ken Lashley. And this issue, T'Challa's ship crashes in Wakanda, leaving him in critical condition. So who's going to protect Wakanda now? Somebody has to step up and fill the mantle of Black Panther, and it looks like it's going to be a woman, but we don't know who it is yet. This issue was really awesome. There's a big fight with Dr. Doom that it's so big that it didn't even finish in this issue. It's going to continue on in #2. But it was really, really good. I like the story by Hudlin, and I mean, Ken's art's awesome, what can I say? So you have to pick this book up and rush out and do it now, because second printings are already on the way. Next up, we've got X-Men vs. the Hulk one-shot. This is by Chris Claremont and Jeremy Rapak. In this issue, we've got a new tale and then a classic reprint tale. We'll just talk about the new tale. In this one, Wolverine wants to test some of the younger X-Men, so he sets up a little ambush for them, and we get a big fight between Colossus and the Hulk. It was okay. Pretty good story and action. The art was just okay for me. The whole ending in a morality tale was a little weird, but other than that, it's a pretty solid pickup. Next up, we've got Hotwire #1 of 4, Requiem for the Dead is the subtitle. This is from Radical Comics, and it's by Steve Pugh and Warren Ellis. The main character on the front here, Alice Hotwire, is a detective exorcist, and she uses high-tech devices and her wits to fight against the blue light, which is sort of like ghosts. She's keeping the peace between the dead and the living, but something happens that makes that kind of difficult. I loved this book. The writing is awesome. The painted art is so gorgeous to look at. So please support your small press books with your money, because that's the only way we're going to keep seeing books like this getting published. So again, pick it up, support it with your money. It's well worth it. Next up, we've got Astonishing Tales #1. This is by various artists and writers because there's 4 tales in this book. One's a Wolverine Punisher one, where they show down with Viper. It was okay, but the art was kind of craptastic. Iron Man 2020 is a story where Arno Stark launches a new line of environmentally friendly ships, but not everybody's so happy about it. Again, it was only sort of ho-hum. Third story is another Iron Man tale where he fights Visage and his own ego, as she points out the sort of not so fine points of the Registration Act. Again, it was okay. It was probably the most interesting of the 4. And last, we've got Bobby and Sam in Mojo World, where Mojo hires the lads to produce a television show for him. It was really crap. Overall, I gotta say this book was kind of a waste of money and effort, but I'm sure there's Marvel fans out there that are gonna buy it, so what can I say? It's just my opinion. Not that awesome. Next up, we've got X-Men, the Life and Times of Lucas Bishop, #1. This is written by Dwayne Skrzynski, and the art's by Larry Stroman. Here we're witness to Bishop's early life in a mutant internment camp, the death of his father, and his escape to Manhattan. It was just a really good book. The art was good, the story was good. It was really cool to learn about Bishop's past, sort of in a different way. So if you like the character, definitely a worthwhile read. Next up, we've got The Mighty #1. This is from DC Comics. In this one, we meet a character called Alpha One, who's supposed to be the world's only superhero, made so by radiation during the war. And he uses his government-sponsored backup team to keep the peace until someone really close to him dies, and it looks like he's going to be out for revenge. It was okay for me. The art was kind of inconsistent, and the story kind of felt like something that's done before. So not really my best DC read, but not bad. You could pick it up if you're interested in that sort of story. And last, we've got Invincible Iron Man #10. This is written by Matt Fraction, and the art's by Salvador Larroca. You'll notice that this is the secret retailer variant, if you haven't seen it before. In this one, Norman dares Tony to turn himself in, and Pepper finds a little surprise hidden outside of her office. Meanwhile, Tony tries to make sure that his armored suits don't fall into the wrong hands. This book was just awesome! It had a lot of good revelations. I love the way that this whole Dark Reign stuff is going on, and the tension between Norman and Tony is going to be just cool. I can't wait till that all comes to a head, so pick it up!
Hey folks, Jim here with this week's comic reviews. First up, I'd like to thank Ken for the great intro. Thanks Ken, we really appreciate it. First up this week, Gold Digger, Ninja High School, Maidens of Twilight #1. Written by Fred Perry and Robbie Bevard with art by J.L. Anderson. Now this is the first crossover between the two titles in almost 8 years. And in this one, while on vacation, Jen and Seance head to a restaurant where they meet up with Suzumi and Don, who are on the run. But soon, the four run into the bounty hunters intent on collecting a bounty. I'm really enjoying this series so far. It's a really good offshoot of both series, and if you're a fan of both, you really need to check this one out to find out what's going on. JL's art is superb, and she's just improving as she goes along. She's really getting good. Next up, one of my absolute favorite books of this year or any year. It's Dark Ivory #4, written by Ava Hopkins and Michael Linsner, with art by Joseph Michael Linsner. In this one, the truth of Ivory's past is finally revealed, but can she truly accept who and what she has become? As always, simply gorgeous art, great storytelling. This really pulls at the heartstrings. It's a wonderful tale. I'm a little let down at the end, but I still loved it more than anything I've read in a long time. So great work, guys. I loved it. Next up, Ninja High School, #166, written by Robbie Bevard with art by Ben Dunn. In this one, Ricky, Anna, and Sora are transported to Dimension X, where after years, Ricky and Anna are reunited with Bob Feeple, and Ricky is introduced to his mousy sister, while Anna teeters closer to death. As NHS goes, near 175, it's getting better as it goes along. I won't be able to review NHS after this issue, as I'm actually taking over as co-writer on the backups. So I hope you'll enjoy reading NHS yourselves. Next up, Buffy #22, written by Stephen S. DeKnight, with art by Georges Jeantet. In this one, Satsu meets up with Kennedy in Japan and must stop a fluffy horror from reaching Scotland. This one actually was a really big laugh riot, with little fluffy Hello Kitties from hell trying to jump into all the Slayers' mouths. I actually laughed out loud. It was a fun issue. As always, Buffy is a great read. And last but not least, Transformers All Hail Megatron #7, written by Shane McCarthy with art by Guido Guidi and E.J. Sue. In this one, the story of Optimus Prime's fall is told, and the Autobots start to fight amongst themselves, believing a traitor is among them. Another fantastic issue by Shane McCarthy, and the art, as always, is simply fantastic. If you're a fan of Transformers, you need to read this book.